Hello everyone, and welcome to a Malthaus Games unboxing video. Today we are unboxing Raiders of the North Sea from Renegade Games. So we went to one of our local gaming cafes, Edmond Unplugged, and sat down and I decided to play Raiders of the North Sea because I'd heard a lot of good things about it. I'm a big Viking fan. In my humanities degree, we helped out at the medieval fair, and since Vikings are in the medieval times, in history, we actually built from scratch a Viking shield. Mine was made out of oak wood with a leather facing that we actually stained. And so I'm a big Viking fan. Vikings are a cool part of history. This kind of has a romanticized Viking style with the horns on the helmets and stuff. But it was a super fun game. I liked it a lot, so much so that we went back after a couple days and picked it up, as well as 2 expansions, which we will also open in this video. So for now, let's do the base game. If you have not played it, it is a worker placement game. The designer, I believe, is Shim Phillips. I think that's correct. Let's see. All right, that's just a little advertisement book. We have the manual, which is very well laid out, very well done. I only had one question while playing, but I cleared it up very quickly online. We've got the punch outs. If you can see, the quality on all the pieces is very good. I love the art design. The graphic design is very good, but the artwork is just really neat. This game has a very unique take on worker placement, which is where you have a single worker at any one time. And during the game, instead of being like most worker placement games, where you have to buy multiple workers, you actually always have one worker. There's the whole board if you can kind of see it. The camera's not quite high enough. You always have one worker. You will place him and take an action, and you will always pick up another worker and then take that action unless you're going raiding. So it's really nice because you never have more than one worker. And so there's no race. There's not one person has to get more workers than everyone else. The first person to get maximum workers has a huge advantage. None of that. It's all based around planning and figuring out how you're going to do things and what's the best route to take. One of the things that I really like about it is that being that you take an action by placing somebody and then you pick somebody up and take the action where they were, it makes it to where somebody can't really block you on an action. You can always pick up the meeple that they had placed down and take the action, so it doesn't, screw you over. The problem in a lot of games is that the one person, see if I can read that better, is that the one person who gets there first and places their meeple down first always gets that action, and then everybody else is just kind of SOL. Well, in this, it's much better because you can still take the action. So those are the cards. They're very cool. I just love the art style in this game. Got the dice. You've got all the different things here, the different meeples, the goods, the player's tokens, the cows, the gold. One of my favorite things is it has metal coins. See if my lavalier picks that up. The metal coins are awesome. They're very textured. They are super, super cool. And a bag, which is used for randomizing the goods. So that is the contents of the base game. As you can tell, there's really not a lot to the base game. But it's very, very good. I'm super excited to play it again, and now I actually can because we bought the game. So for those of you who are thinking about Raiders, we recommend it so far. We'll play it some more and hopefully give it a review soon. But for now, we really enjoy it, and there's an unboxing. For those of you who have Raiders and want to see what is in the expansions, that is what we're doing now. The first one is Hall of Heroes, Raiders of the North Sea. I think I said Raiders of the Lost Ark earlier. I meant Raiders of the North Sea. I keep referencing that because that has been the only Raiders that I know of for the longest time. Oh, yes, I was correct. Shem Phillips. The artist, I cannot think of his actual full name, but he is... Oh, I cannot think of his name. Last name sounds very Russian. But he's very good. He goes by The Miko. So there's his actual name. It is Mihajlo Dmitrievsky. He is very good. I love his work. So in this expansion, Hall of Heroes, it adds in quests to the game that give you goods for completing them. In the normal game, you can only go rating based on the strength, mostly, of the crew that you have hired. In this game, fulfilling these quests, which go on the board after somebody raids, you have to fulfill to this number by discarding cards from your hand that have that strength value or higher. And so it's kind of neat. It makes what's in your hand a little more usable, I guess is a word, more of a utility. So this has mead tokens, as well as it adds another player. There's the mead tokens. I believe this one's the one with mead. Yes. Maybe. Yep. So there's the mead hall board. This will have some stuff over here for if you get 3 of a kind on the quests, you get something. And these will have some cards for people that you can take to your hand. So instead of going to the normal gatehouse, I think it's called, and drawing 2 cards, you can come to the mead hall and take one of these, as well as receive a mead, a silver and a mead, or a silver and 2 mead. So it makes you have the ability to take a specific card rather than draw at random, which is really neat, and you get a benefit for doing it. You also, every single player gets their own player board now, which it shows you the 5 places to place your crew, a place for you to keep your, not quest tokens, but the things you normally fulfill at the Longhouse. I can't think of the name of them right now. Gives you a little note on how many of these you can have, less than or equal to 8. A place to keep your worker, a place to keep your goods, and for each quest you fulfill, you get points that start to get higher and higher until if you get to the end, it's worth 16. Each player gets one of those boards, and then there are new cards. These new cards are going to provide new people to add to your crew that have different things. So this is a hero. These add some heroes, and the heroes are basically extra strong. You can never have more than 1 hero, and this one's gain 1 strength for every 2 quests you've completed. So he makes you stronger for quests. The hero of Tate gives you extra. There's a hero of Hertha. Then you've got shepherds, and so you get some new cards to add to the game. 0 equals 1 strength on quests. Oh. Have the brewer gain 2 mead before going on a quest. So all the cards that are in the expansions go toward the expansion in some way. So these will all deal with quests and mead in some manner. This is the brute. When killed in a raid, gain 1 mead. It gives you some extra setup cards. Tell you a little more of what to do. And then for the last player, ooh, we now have purple, which means I will always be the purple player. See if I can get this to fit back in all right. I will end up removing the inserts most likely. I don't want it to bulge too much. So that is the Hall of Heroes expansion for Raiders of the North Sea. And if you are wondering about the Fields of Fame expansion, well, look what we've got. So this is Fields of Fame for Raiders of the North Sea. I love that all these boxes have the same dimensions aside from the depth, but the height and width, I should say, are all the same. So in Fields of Fame, what it adds to the game is a fame track, which works similar if you're used to the base game. The fame track works similar to the armor track or the Valkyrie track. There's the punch outs. You will have one of these. I will explain those in a moment. But what it is when you go on a raid, there will now be some extra tokens placed out, which I will show you. This will go next to the board. There will now be extra tokens. Oh, here we go. I had it upside down. My bad. Here's the fame track. But these extra tokens are the Jarl. I'm guessing they're these blue ones. Yes. These blue, almost like a shield token. You also have your wound tokens, which look like blood drops. It also adds another player, I believe. Looks like an orange color. And some extra die. Oh, that's neat. But what it is, anytime you go on a quest, instead of the Valkyrie being the only bad thing, which is where it makes you kill one of your hired crew, you have to fight a Jarl. Now, a Jarl in a historical sense is a leader. A lot of times it was, I guess you could consider them sort of like a duke or a king in some of the Viking cultures. If I can get these cards undone. But in the game, if you get a Jarl token, you have to then fight a Jarl and hope that you can defeat him, capture him, or flee. Now, if you try to fight him or capture him to make him part of your crew, you can and will take damage on your crew. So these here that each player will get shows that if you fight him, if you win, you can gain 2 fame, but his strength +1, you'll take that many wounds. So if you have somebody on your side, let's say like this defender that's at a 3, if this is your only hired crew and you take 3 wounds, its strength goes to 0, so it will have no strength. So then you would have to either kill it off or hire somebody new to replace it. But you have these Jarls that are also very strong if you can hire them. So this one, Brenna, gains a victory point for each pair of offerings. And looks like you can get rid of her. This is if you defeat her, I believe, that you can gain a livestock. And there are multiple ones, but they come as almost like a boss character. That one looks really cool. I like that artwork. They are very neat. But essentially, it makes raiding a little more dangerous, adds more cards, and then adds the player color of orange. So that is the contents of the Fields of Fame expansion, where it focuses on Jarls, and if you can defeat them, if you can hire them, anything like that. So it adds a little bit more to what you can do in the game, and with the Fame track, by beating the Jarls, it gives you another course toward gaining points, which means not everyone is fighting over the same thing. The last thing we got, I'm going to reach in front of the camera, was that the owner of Edmond Unplugged had some promos. So when we picked the game up, we got the promos, which they have in the Board Game Geek store. Comes with the Watchman, gain 1 strength if you have a hired hero, gain 4 silver if you do not have a hired hero. There's 2 of those. There's the Stonemason. You lose 1 iron. It looks like you can lose 1 iron during a raid to gain 3 strength, and lose 1 armor to gain an iron as its play. Then it comes with a hero, which is Miko. Now the artist goes by the name The Miko. It's kind of like his alias. Gain 1 strength for each previously raided fortress, and you cannot hire more than 1 hero like all the heroes have. So this is the little promo that you can get. I believe it's $5 on the Board Game Geek store. I was just lucky enough that my store had them to give out whenever somebody bought the game. Or one of the expansions, I'm not sure. I bought them all at once. Well, thank you for tuning in and watching our unboxing video of Raiders of the North Sea, Fields of Fame, Hall of Heroes, both those expansions, and this little pack of promos. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this gave you a better look at what comes inside the contents of the box. We do plan to do a review of this game, hopefully in the future. I say that now, things could change, but hopefully that's something you can keep an eye out for. Please like, share, subscribe at Malthaus Games. That is on Twitter, Facebook, any social media, everything like that. If you could email us, contact@malthausgames.com with any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, we will appreciate it. I guess that's everything. We will see you guys later.